of Institute of Global Professionals. And yes, I am here and I will be talking about something that is very, very important for every one of us, and especially for the professionals who are in the field, who are going to be in the field. So, I will be talking about workplace ethics. You have already heard my introduction, so I don't need to repeat it. I will just give me a few seconds to bring the slides and then we will begin. Please let me know if my you can see the slides or not. Okay, so are my slides there? I hope you people are able to see the slides. Can somebody please tell me, Mr. Rahul?
Yes, ma'am, we can. We can see the slides. Please continue.
Very well, very well. Since I have a limited time and we have to cover this webinar, we are having fellow speakers as well. Since my topic is about workplace ethics, there is one thing that I would really like to share with all the viewers. Uh, I came in this profession, I came in this profession of training and facilitation with a very strong feeling that we do have so many training institutes, we do have so many platforms which are providing us training on different areas. The very basic thing that is lacking from the learner's point of view is the implementation. And I strongly believe that even if you are going to learn 2 to 3 things from one webinar instead of hundreds of things and having a huge booklet with yourself, but at the end of the day, if you are not implementing it, at the end of the day, if you're not working on that thing, so that bulk of knowledge, that bulk of learning and training is totally wasted. So basically, what I do in my sessions, in my webinars, I strongly focus on those points which I believe could be very, very basic, which you may feel that this is something very common. But if you are going to use it, if you are going to implement it, if you are going to integrate it into your values, into your professionalism, this is actually going to give you a huge result and positive results as well. I have been in this field for the past 10 years, so whatever I'm gonna do, whatever I'm gonna share in the next 30 minutes, that is all based on my experience, and I would love to know your opinion as well. So all those viewers who are watching me, all those viewers who are attending the webinar, keep putting your input as well through the comments. Now, starting with the workplace ethics, this session will be focusing especially those people who are going to join the professional life or who are the new ones who don't know the rules of the games, but they want to learn, they want to go ahead. And for them, the professional life is not just a span of 2 years or 3 years. They actually want to make it a part of their life. They really want to become part of professionals. So this is what I'm going to focus. Now, when we talk about workplace ethics, or when we talk about ethical values, we all have our values, we all have our morals and different things. But once we are in an organization, once you are in a professional setting, there are so many times that certain things, certain policies get contradicted with your values, or you are not able to function the way you want to. So basically, I divide ethical values into 3 different categories, which you can see: intrapersonal, interpersonal, and group. Now, why I have divided them? Because so many times it happens that your different roles, when you are in an organization, you are an individual, you are a team member, you are a team leader, and you are someone who is playing a part in an overall organization as well. So you are actually playing different roles. No matter you have one designation, you have one professional cap, but even then, within that professional cap, you have multiple roles to play. And sometimes it happens that your multiple roles or the things that you want to do in those roles, they get contradicted as well. So let's talk about those ethical values. I will start from the backwards. Very first thing, when you are a group member, um, so many time it happens that you are working in a group, you are working in a team, and you don't get the good vibes. Has it happened to you? You are forced to work with such team members, you are forced to work with such colleagues you don't like, but even then you have to work with them. So when temporary you are in that group, you are working on a project, you are heading a meeting or anything which is for temporary basis, um, even then there are certain values that we need to practice. And usually those people who are new ones in the field, they believe that why do they have to follow something which they don't like, because we all are coming up with our own experiences, we all are coming with our own values, with our own likes and dislikes. And the younger people, the younger professional, they are usually more, I should say, emotional. They don't want to change their personalities, they don't want to change their likes and dislikes, but there sometimes you have to. Why? Because when you are in a group, you need to practice certain values which could be against your personal likes and dislikes. Now, do let me know in the comments, has it ever happened to you that you are in a group doing something, not liking it, but still doing it? Now, a very common example, there are some people who don't like to eat with a group, who don't like to eat or have meals when they're in a public setting. They want a quiet corner, they want to sit all alone, and then they want to enjoy their meals. But when you are a professional, when you are working with a team, when you are in a group, you have to make sure that you are going with everyone. So this is a very one example, a very small example, but here we need to realize that as professionals, this comes in ethics that no matter you don't like something, if it can be modified, if it can be adjusted, or if it is going to give a negative impression to the other team members, avoid doing it. Now, another thing, or the another ethical values that we follow or that we have when we are in an interpersonal relationship between the two people, between the two groups. And this is something team leaders can use it very effectively, because team leaders are the leaders. They are the ones who are the role models, they are the ones who are setting examples for their teams, and not only for their teams, for the other team members in the organization as well. So interpersonal ethical values are way too important, because this is something which you can use as a tool. If you have never been a team leader, if you have never been into a leading position, and you will be sometime in the future, so do remember that as a team leader, you have this tool in your hand which you can use. What you can do, what you can teach to others, all those values, all those ethical or even unethical values. Whatever you are doing in the organization, whatever you are doing with your team members, that is being observed. And that might be used as an example in the future. Your colleague might be coming, now I am doing this. You dress up like this, I am also dressing up like this. It may happen, and it might have happened with you as well. So the purpose of discussing this point over here is that when we are in an interpersonal role, when we are interacting with others, and we have to, in the organizations, in the professional life, we have to. So you can use your values to model certain behaviors. You might not be that person in your personal life, but you really want to be like that in your professional life. So even for your own practice, you can use that. You can model certain behaviors, you can model certain characteristics, and eventually you will develop that thing in yourself as well. Then we can also use our ethical values. We can also use our morals, which are very important and they are not written anywhere. We might have studied them in school lives, in university lives, but when we come into professional life, morals and ethics are not written anywhere, but they are always valued. So, very importantly, what you can do, you can use those values to correct someone. If you see your colleague not coming in time, you are seeing your colleague not taking the instructions very seriously. So what you can do, two ways. You can go to them, tell them very strictly that this is you are doing and this should not be happening. Or you can be a leader who will lead with example. Come on time, show them with the example. Take the instructions seriously and tell them that no, if this deadline has been given to us, we need to follow that thing. So, if as a team leader, if as a role model, you are going to do this, believe me, your organization, your fellow colleagues will also follow that thing. Then we have certain values, we have certain ethical values that we follow only for myself, only for ourselves, by ourselves. We don't want anyone to see whether the boss is watching, the head is watching, the colleague is watching. You are not concerned with that thing. But you are concerned that this is something my core values and I need to follow them. And these things are being observed by people. They will tell you at some point of the time that see, you did that thing, I really liked it. Or if you act against something, if you act against your normal routine, so they will ask you what happened, why are you doing this, why are you acting like this. So everything that you do as a professional in your professional life, it is observed. So make sure that you are giving people something good to observe. Now, I would really like you people to answer this thing. What is the most difficult part of workplace ethics? If you can, write in the comments and let me know. What do you think? Workplace ethics could be something very, very tricky because, again, as I said, it is not written, right? These are not the policies. I am not talking about the workplace policies. I'm not talking about the workplace rules, but I am talking about workplace ethics, the values, the culture, the morals that are followed. So do let me know what is that. What do you think? What I think is this: the unsaid rules in your professional life. The unsaid rules, the rules which are not written, the things which are not anywhere in black and white. You might be told about the dressing code, you might be told about the punctuality, about the regularity, you might be having the service rules, but still there are some things, there are few things, or it could be many things that are there, that are present, that are unsaid. And those unsaid rules could be very, very troublesome or could be very, very helpful if you have put an effort in knowing that what are those unsaid rules. Now, all those people who are in the professional life, take yourself back to your initial years. All those people who are in the initial years, just take a moment and think about it. What were those unsaid rules that you did not know? And then you might have been, you might were bullied on that, you might were told that this is your fault without realizing that you did not know that thing. So this is something I just wanted to discuss, that when we are in any organization as professionals, ethical values count a lot. Now, few things that I really wanted to put over here. Okay, I have few minutes. Right. These are the points that I'm going to discuss. And again, as I said, it could look very basic, but if you are going to implement this thing, if you are going to include in yourself, if you are going to follow that, this will give you a very positive result, in the sense that in the longer run, not for the shorter run, but in the longer run, people do start realizing your positivity, your good points. All right, as it says, if you are a new entrant, you are someone who is a fresh graduate who has just come from the university, your high college, or high schools, anywhere, and you are now in a professional field, even as an employee or as an employer. What you need to do, the very first thing is knowing the rules. We Whenever we join any organization, and even if you are a new entrant in the organization, you might be someone who has a lot of years experience. You are having 10 years, 15 years experience, and you have switched your organization. But even then, in that organization, you are a new entrant. So it is really important to know the rules. Go around, go to HR, go to the managers, go to your heads, and ask them that what is the overall culture of the organization. Every organization has their culture. Every organization has certain values that they practice. So ask them why. Two things can happen. If you don't know those things, you might be bullied. There could be office politics. Office politics is a reality all over the world. Be you are male or you are a female, it happens everywhere in whichever organization you are. So if you want to save yourself from this thing, so it is really important to play by the rules, right? Then it says respect the set policies, rules, and practices. If you have something better, then suggest, but do not order. Sometimes it happens when you go in an organization, you are very enthusiastic, you want to bring a change in your life, in the world. So what do? You start telling the people that don't do this, or this used to happen in my previous organization. I know people are not following that. We start making comparisons. You are a new person, you don't know the culture, you don't know how the organization works. So that becomes really important, that yes, do share whatever you want to do, whatever you want to introduce for the improvement of the organization, but it should be suggestion. The managers, the heads, the people who have been there in the organization doing their best, they would never like that a new person is coming and ordering them what to do. Rather, suggest them, sit with them, talk with them. This comes in ethics. This comes in ethical values that we practice. You might be a person who has a very dominant personality, because of course personality matters a lot. So if you are the one who always likes to order, so hold on. You have different people as well who also have their opinions. So learn to talk, learn to discuss. Then, since we are talking about workplace ethics, and this is something very, very important, and this could be something which you may not have studied in any book, but this is something that life teaches us. This is something when you are in your professional life, when you are in the practical field, you get to know, oh, this also happens. So yes, the point number 3 that says keeping yourself out of personal discussions. Remember, if you are a new entrant, you are gonna get trapped in it. Remember, you are new, not them. Let me know in the comments if it has happened to you. Now, what do I want to say? You see a group of colleagues sitting together, having a discussion on anything, because unfortunately, people have this habit of discussing people. They discuss their managers, they discuss their bosses, anyone who is up in the hierarchy. They discuss about their personal lives, they discuss about them. And if you are a new one, you are enjoying it. You think that yes, they are having a good discussion. You start giving your point of views. Never ever do that thing. Number 1, it is obviously unethical to discuss someone's personal life despite of any reason. Number 2, you don't know both the sides of the picture, so of course you should not be giving your input. And number 3, this is something against workplace ethics. Having personal discussions in a professional setting is a big no, unless you have very very friendly terms with some of the colleagues, which you of course will have with some of the colleagues, not with everyone. um, the next slide tells you that if you are the established ones, means you are the experienced ones, so what? Ethics remain ethics. Have you ever had a colleague, a senior one, who says, rules don't matter for me. I am the senior one. I can do what I want to do. I can say what I want to say. So, my dear senior fellows, if you are listening to me, my dear senior colleagues, if you are listening to me, ethics are ethics. Because if you are the one who believes that I don't need to be punctual, I am the boss. I don't need to be on time, I am the boss. I don't need to follow certain instructions because I have spent this and this number of years in this organization and I can take the rules for granted. So I'm sorry. You are teaching, you are training your people, the new ones, on a very wrong ground. So check what you are doing. Okay. So very quickly, can Rahul, can you please tell me how much time do we have? Do I have? Mr. Rahul, are you there? Hello. Okay, I am unable to hear anyone. Let me go back. Should I go back? Okay, can somebody please tell me how much time do I have? But on the mic, because I can't see the
Hello,
comments.
Samrin ma'am, can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, and 10 minutes, another 10 minutes.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, being ethical, when we talk about workplace ethics, small things that you can do to earn your place. See, there is one thing that is called designation, which is being given to you professionally, which you might have earned. And there is one thing that is called your place in the organization, your place in the hearts and in the lives of the people of those organizations, and that matters a lot. It might be sounding very fascinating, it might be sounding something fantasy, but it matters. When people look up to you for guidelines, when people look up to you to follow, so how you can earn that place, it starts from very basic things, and I'm going to discuss those things. Number one, the greetings. When you are entering the organization and for the very first time in the day you are meeting your boss or you are meeting your janitorial staff, greet them. It is not written anywhere that you can only greet the boss, you can only greet the manager, but you will not greet the watchman on the gate. You will not greet the staff member who is bringing you your coffee or your tea. Greet them. Greetings earn you a lot. This is very, very important, and it shows that your ethical side. It really shows. If imagine that you are there in the organization and some colleague is there who has a habit of not to greet anyone. They just come and pass by. How does it look? How does it feel? It feels very bad. So a very small thing, no matter from where you are in the world, but this is something gonna earn you a lot. The same thing, saying thank you. Why did I write over here? Take yourself back to your primary school, pre-primary school. We were told three magic words. What are those three magic words? Please, sorry, thank you. And then we grow up, we have grown up and we have forgotten to say thank you. Now, saying thank you means to everything and everyone. Whoever is coming to you, serving you water, serving you tea, serving you coffee, somebody opening the door for you, somebody setting up the meeting room for you, and you are so caught up in your work that you forgot to appreciate the effort which has been done for you. So, saying thank you again, it might feel that this is something very basic, but if those people who do this, I'm sure most of you are doing this, they know its value. Now, obviously, punctuality and regularity is something which is given the due value throughout the world. And those new professionals, if you think that you are so busy, you are working, you are studying, you are managing your startup, you have got so much in your life and you can't be punctual, you can't reach your workplace on time, so dear, you have to, because this is something that is showing that how much value you give to that job. And if I have an employee who always comes late, so the very first thing or very first impression that I will have, that this person has no value for my organization. So why should I have such people in my organization, right? Number four, it says being presentable. It is your workplace, not a home place. Sometimes it happens that we have spent so many months or years in an organization that we start feeling having a home kind of a feeling, and then we stop working on our dressing. We are we become so casual. So this should not be happen. It is against the workplace ethics. If you want to be a true professional, so no matter you have been working in the same organization for the past 20 years, every day should be a new day in this sense. Okay. Okay, leaving point number five on new people. I want the answers in the comments. I will check the answer. What do you think? Read it and what do you think about it? Okay. When we talk about workplace ethics, of course, we are talking about that thing because this is something which is being observed. And the good team leaders, they learn a lot about their team members' personalities, the true personalities, not only with talking, but by observing them as well. Good team leaders are good members, good observers as well. So if you are the one who leaves the tables totally messed up because you are so busy, so this is not the excuse, because this is something talking about the real you. So if you are an organized person, you are the person who likes the things on their places, so your others, your heads, they are observing something about you. Wearing a smile, it speaks a lot. You are so busy, you are having such a hectic day, the boss is in a very bad mood, everything is going wrong, but it doesn't give me the excuse to be rude with anyone else. So if you are having a smile on your face, that is gonna give you a lot in the longer run. People will know you with your smile. Another thing I have observed in my professional setting, in my 10 years, there are some people who have a habit of turtle claws. I don't know whether this word exists or not, but this is what I have seen. They walk really slow in their workplaces. It just seems like a crawling. So, my dear, if you are a professional and if you want to display that thing, if you want to show that thing, so you should have a brisk walk, an energetic walk that shows your energy, that shows your interest, that shows that you are alive. And then a very important thing is, I'm gonna go to point number 10. Have a spark in you. Bring out the sleeping energy. We all have energy. The Almighty has sent a lot of energy packets in us, a lot of energy bundles in us, but sometimes what we do, we don't ignite that. Again, I will repeat, no matter you are in the same organization for so many years, but having a dull face, not having a smile, having a frowning forehead, does not give you the excuse that since you are a senior, so you can't do that. No. The ethics tell us, the morals tell us that you should be a pleasing person. By pleasing, I don't mean butter polishing, but people should feel good when they meet you. People should have positive vibes whenever they interact with you. And this is something comes in professionalism. Professionalism does not only include meeting your deadlines, doing your work on time, it includes so many other things as well. So here I am gonna do wind up this session, and very last thing that I would like to discuss over here, and I want you people to think about it, whether you have done it ever or not. When you are in a staff meeting as a listener, so please don't be a listening robot. I can understand staff meetings are very, very boring, and especially when they are for over a longer period of time. But if you are there, You value your job, you value your organization, you want your organization to move forward, you have certain points in your mind, discuss those points in the staff meeting. Don't just think that there's a person standing giving the instructions, we will take the instructions and go. No, you have the same right to say the way the person who is having the meeting as well. So you don't need to be a listening robot, just listening, nodding the head, and leaving the room. Because as a team member, imagine yourself, you're standing, having, conducting a meeting, 20, 30 people sitting in front of you, and nobody is saying anything, just nodding the head like robot. As a team member, your energy drains out because we get energy from people. So if you are energetic, you are playing your active role in the staff meeting. This is something that is going to give the energy to your team leaders as well, to your managers and heads as well. So I will wind up my session over here. Thank you so very much